Welcome back to my channel. I wish you all good health and happiness with your family. Today I will tell you a story about Jack, the man who is the ideal model of many girls. Please watch the video. After Jack went to the farm to meet Tien's ex-father-in-law, he returned in a heavy mood. But before he could say anything to Tien, Jack suddenly collapsed right in front of the house, causing everyone to panic. What happened after that fateful meeting? Was this just an accident? Or was there something hidden behind it? After being discharged from the hospital, Jack returned home with a body that was still weak and his spirit had not fully recovered. The pain still came suddenly from time to time, making it impossible for him to sleep well. During that time, Tien transformed into a devoted nurse, never leaving his side. She woke up early to prepare each meal, each glass of warm water, and then meticulously checked Jack's medication schedule. At night, when he was restless with pain or fatigue, Tien sat by his side, soothing him with gentle words, sometimes reading stories to lull him to sleep. She never complained, even though her eyes were dark and her body was visibly thinner. Jack held her hand many times, wanting to say something, but his throat was choked up. He knew that if Tien had not been by his side, he probably would not have been able to overcome this difficult time. When he quietly watched her busy around, a feeling of love and deep gratitude welled up in his heart. Tien's love was not noisy, not flowery, but permeated every smallest action, and it was that silent care that warmed Jack's heart, helping him gradually recover both physically and mentally. One early morning, when the sunlight was still peeking out from behind the distant trees, Tien gently woke up, carefully pulled the blanket over Jack, and tiptoed out of the room. She decided to go to the market early to buy a fresh chicken, intending to cook it with Chinese medicine to nourish Jack. Meanwhile, Jack was still fast asleep, but just a moment later, the phone rang. It was a call from the landowner from the day before. He said that the paperwork had been completed. Jack just needed to come over and sign to officially transfer the name. Jack sat up. His body was not completely well but much better. He stood up, slowly walked around the house looking for Tien's familiar figure but couldn't find her. The kitchen was quiet. The front yard was empty, only the faint scent of tea lingering on the table. Jack guessed that she had probably just gone out for a while and would be back soon. He clearly felt the void that Tien's absence left, even if it was only for a short moment. On the other side, in the middle of the bustling morning market, Tien was meticulously selecting each chicken, holding a basket in her hand, thinking only of delicious food and the best nutrients for Jack to recover soon. She smiled, her heart filled with warmth as she thought of his face when he ate the food she cooked. Jack stopped the car in front of the gate of a small house in the middle of a peaceful countryside, where the landowner lived with his family. He got out of the car, opened the gate and walked slowly into the yard, not forgetting to bring the documents and the envelope of money that he had prepared. The landowner, a man in his 50s, thin but agile, was already standing in front of the door, welcoming him with a friendly smile. The two went inside and sat down at the wooden table and chairs in the front room. A cup of hot tea was poured out, the aroma wafting in the air. The two chatted for a few polite sentences and then quickly opened the documents and reviewed them. After carefully checking, they both signed and stamped the land transfer contract. Jack placed the envelope of money on the table and solemnly handed it to the landowner as a thank you for his trust and speed. The transaction was completed in a friendly atmosphere. not tense but gentle like a meeting between acquaintances. As he stepped out into the yard, Jack saw some children playing with old toys. His eyes softened, and he walked closer, bending down to pat a small boy on the head. "So cute. Be a good boy," he said affectionately. The children giggled, looking up at Jack with curious and friendly eyes, making him smile gently. Tien came back from the market, carrying a basket full of vegetables, meat, and especially a fat, round chicken that she had carefully selected from a familiar stall. On the way home, she also stopped to buy a golden melon, planning to peel it and bring it up to Jack's room to cool down. As soon as she entered the house, Tien washed her hands, took a melon peeler, carefully cut each piece into bite-sized pieces, and arranged them neatly on a plate. She also poured a glass of cold water, placed everything on the tray thoughtfully, and then brought it up to the room. But as soon as she got there, she was stunned. The bed was empty. Jack was nowhere to be seen. Tien glanced around, went to the kitchen, and went to the backyard, but still couldn't see him. A feeling of unease rose in her heart, making her quickly pick up the phone to call Jack. The phone rang a few times before the other end of the line picked up. Jack's voice rang out, still gentle as always. "I'll go do some business. I'll be back as soon as I'm done." Hearing that, Tien breathed a sigh of relief. The worry in her heart gradually disappeared. She just said, "Remember to come back early." "I'll wait." Putting the fruit tray aside, Tien took out her phone, opened Google and searched, "How to stew chicken with Chinese herbs." Delicious and nutritious for people who have just recovered from illness. Her eyes attentively read each recipe. Her hands flipped through each package of ingredients. Her heart filled with excitement to prepare a truly nutritious dish for the person she loved. Jack drove to the farm in the mild morning sun. The countryside air was cool, but his heart was filled with many thoughts. When he arrived, he saw Mr. Dong, Tien's ex-father-in-law, bending over to shovel dirt in the construction area. Sweat beading on his forehead. Jack stopped the car, got out and called out loudly, "Uncle Dong, come in for a bit. I have something to tell you." Mr. Dong looked up, nodded slightly, then put down the shovel, following Jack into the small wooden house inside. Jack poured him a glass of water and said softly, "Uncle, you're old now. This kind of hard work is no longer suitable. You can stay here and help me look after the farm. You don't need to do anything hard." Mr. Dong looked at Jack. His eyes were surprised and then softened. He said in a low voice, "I just want to earn some extra income. If I don't work, I feel empty." Jack smiled. "I understand. But you don't need to worry. Tien will be living upstairs in a few days. I'm having someone build it." Mr. Dong was silent for a moment, then nodded slightly. His eyes filled with emotion. A sincere gratitude rose in his heart. Jack, the man who should have no more ties, still treated him like a relative. Leaving the farm, Jack quickly walked up to the high ground where the ground was being leveled. But as soon as he got there, he felt dizzy. His head ached violently. Sweat poured out like a shower. Jack quickly walked back to the car, sat down on the chair, and tried to take a deep breath. After resting for a while to relieve his fatigue, he started the engine and slowly drove back home. Tien was busy in the kitchen. The aroma from the pot of Chinese medicinal chicken was rising, blending the sweetness of the chicken with the faint scent of Chinese medicinal herbs, making the whole kitchen unusually cozy. At that moment, Jack's mother had just returned from an errand, carrying a few bags of things in her hand. As soon as she entered the house, she sniffed and asked happily, "What are you cooking that makes the whole kitchen smell so good?" Tien? Tien turned around, her face covered in sweat but her eyes lit up with pride. "I'm stewing chicken for Jack. but I don't know if I'm doing it right. Can you come over and help me take a look? Jack's mother put down the bag of things and approached the pot simmering on the stove. She opened the lid to look. The aroma immediately spread more clearly. Seeing the neatly arranged slices of Chinese medicinal herbs, the chicken simmered on the right heat. The clear but rich broth. She couldn't hide her satisfied smile. Oh my God, Tien is such a good cook. Looking at this, I know it's delicious. Not everyone knows how to stew chicken and keep the flavor like that. My child. Tien blushed and smiled shyly. I just watched it online and followed it. As long as Jack feels better, I'm happy. Jack's mother looked at Tien affectionately. In her eyes there was not only satisfaction but also a silent gratitude for the girl who had silently stayed by her son's side during the most difficult days. Jack had just stepped into the house. Before he could call out, his whole body suddenly staggered. His vision went dark. He only had time to hold onto the chair before he collapsed onto the floor. The loud noise startled Tien, who had run out of the kitchen. As soon as she saw Jack, she panicked and rushed over, kneeling down to hug him, her voice faltering with fear. Jack, what's wrong with you? Uncle, come out quickly. Jack's mother heard the sound of Tien screaming and rushed over. As soon as she saw her son lying down, his face pale, she screamed, "Oh my God, Jack, what's wrong with you?" Without time to think much, the two women panicked and helped Jack up, leading him into the bedroom. Jack was heavy, sweat pouring out, soaking his shirt. Tien's face was pale. She quickly placed him on the bed and rushed to get a cold towel. She got water, trembling as she washed the towel. Her heart was in a panic. She turned back, gently placed a towel on Jack's forehead, her hands trembling as she stroked his hair, her mouth continuously calling his name. Jack, wake up, don't scare me. Jack's mother also sat by the bed, her eyes red, her hand tightly holding her son's hand, silently praying that he was just temporarily tired. In that heavy atmosphere, both women could only look at Jack with overwhelming worry, their hearts feeling uneasy as if thousands of needles were stabbing their chests. Jack opened his eyes, looking tired but still aware of his surroundings. Sweat had not yet dried on his forehead. His breathing was weak but even. Tien saw that he was showing signs of waking up, so she breathed a sigh of relief, then quickly stood up. You should lie down and rest. I'll go get you a bowl of stewed chicken and bring it in for you to eat to regain your strength. She left the room, leaving Jack's mother sitting next to the bed. She held her son's hand, her voice gentle but full of worry. I know you have a lot to worry about, but your health is the most important. Try to rest and recover. Don't push yourself too hard. Tien and I are here. We'll figure everything else out later. Jack looked at his mother, his eyes filled with emotion mixed with gratitude. He nodded slightly, not saying a word but knowing clearly in his heart, he couldn't continue to make them worry. He thought of Tien's haggard face these past days, of her eyes that always followed his every breath, and of her mother's skinny hand that was still holding his tightly. I have to try to eat. I have to get well soon. Jack whispered to himself, not only for himself, but also for the two women who were devoted to him. He wanted to see them smile with peace of mind, not wipe away their tears because they were worried about him anymore. From outside, Tien walked in with a bowl of hot chicken in her hand. Her eyes filled with hope as she looked at him. I brought it in. Eat a little to regain your strength.
Chắc đã bụng chưa cả rồi. Tận hưởng đến tình nhau. cố gắng nghỉ ngơi cho thật hồi phục, đừng có bằng bằng sức quá. Mẹ với Từ Tiên ở đây mà mọi thứ khác từ từ rồi tính. Giáp nhìn mẹ, nhìn mẹ, ánh mắt có chút sâu đậm, rất đặc biệt hơn. Anh gật nhẹ đầu.